What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to another episode of the True Mets Talk podcast with your boy CP. It is December 6th. The winter meetings keep rolling on. Today, we're going to be talking about a pair of Mets signings that we saw happen yesterday, one happening earlier in the day, and then one happening pretty much at nighttime just after midnight. So I guess it is a December 6th signing technically, but we'll talk about those depth piece signings. Make sure you hit on that thumbs up button, providing you all the latest Mets updates, comments, opinions, analysis, all that good stuff, even if they are smaller moves. I will be here to talk about the moves, and I will be here to inform this great Mets fan base about what they can expect. As always, make sure you hit on that subscribe button, bottom right-hand corner as you're watching this video. Hover over my icon and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already, and you know where to find all of my latest podcast details and further thoughts and opinions that I do not talk about on here. They are all on my social medias, X, Instagram, all that good stuff. All my handles are at CPNYSPORTS. So let's get a little bit into what we saw out of the Mets yesterday in terms of these depth piece signings. And before I talk about those two signings, I just want to preface this video by saying that I understand that the Mets aren't making the big moves just yet. I understand that the Mets fan base on Twitter predominantly is losing their minds, and everybody's wondering when are the Mets going to start going after those big names, because let's face it, the Mets have a lot of needs, they have a lot of holes to fill, and they are not in a position to say that the roster is in good shape as of right now. I understand that the 40-man roster is thinning in terms of the open spots that you have for that 40-man roster. Last time I checked, the Mets were at 33 positions filled of the 40-man roster, and that's before any sort of free agent signings or trades this offseason. Not to say that the Mets can't free up 40-man roster spots by cutting some players, but at this juncture, we've already seen depth piece signings galore. We've seen Austin Adams, we've seen Kyle Crick, and then we're going to be talking about these two gentlemen that we saw here yesterday in terms of the Mets signing. So let's get into it. We'll talk about the Mets' plan in terms of the long term, the long game in 2024 versus 2025 as well. Just a little bit to touch on that. I don't have much of an opinion to put out there on that front in this video, but what I will say about the people who are very, I guess, adamant that the Mets are punting in 2024, for lack of a better term, and waiting till 2025. That might not be the case. I think it's still very early into these winter meetings, and I think that if you are a Mets fan, obviously you can be skeptical and you can worry about what the Mets' intentions this offseason really is. But I think there is a method to the madness. I think that there is going to be major signings coming up and a potential major trade coming up because, like I said on this channel many times before, the 2025 free agent class, if you were to wait on it, just simply isn't as good as 2024. So even if you wanted to prioritize 2025 more than 2024, you're not in the good position if you're the front office to do so, just because of how weak that free agent class is next offseason. So, like I said, Mets recent transactions, they have signed veterans shortstop Jose Iglesias and right-handed relief pitcher Michael Tonkin. Jose Iglesias, obviously, at face value, is a higher average hitter, hit 292 in Colorado in 2022. He is a shortstop. Probably he can play some second base if I had to guess, but he is a journeyman as well. He spent some time in the Padres organization, their farm system last season, obviously as sort of a depth backup option, and he does get the minor league deal with the Mets with an invitation to spring training. So that is not a major league deal, and I don't expect Jose Iglesias to be up with the big league squad come opening day. This is a backup to the backup kind of scenario in terms of if a guy like Joey Wendell goes down, maybe if a guy like Brett Beatty struggles, we see a Jose Iglesias get called up and the infield start to shift at that point. But this is a purely purely depth signing with him being a journeyman, a veteran. He's not going to have too big of a presence on this team. But as we said on the Interstate Mets report, if you missed that last night, my buddy, Amish Country Mets fan, Nelson made a great point. He said that a guy like Jose Iglesias, a signing like this is definitely invaluable in the long term in terms of what the fan might not be able to see in terms of some veteran presence providing that guidance to a guy like Beatty, a guy like Mauricio, and taking them under their wing. We saw that with Eduardo Escobar last season before he got shipped off to Anaheim, or Los Angeles, I should say, with Mark Vientos. We saw that relationship and that bond forming. So maybe we can expect some of the same with Jose Iglesias and the young studs. But that remains to be seen. Like I said, a minor league deal, nothing to bat your eye over. The more interesting one came when Mark Feinsand reported this just around 12:30 a.m. as of last night. I was going to drop a video and record it last night, but I figured I might as well sleep on this signing and see and talk about it as through an objective lens. I know there's not much objectivity going on with this Mets fan base as of right now, but at face value, obviously, with this being a split contract, there are no guarantees for Michael Tonkin to be up in the major leagues come opening day. But when he is in the major leagues, he will get paid a prorated salary of $1 million for 1 year. Another depth piece for this bullpen to go along with the already additions of Austin Adams and Kyle Crick. Now, the most interesting pattern here is that the Mets seem to be after ex international players. Michael Tonkin spending some time in the Japanese league, obviously formerly a pitcher in the MLB in 2017, took a 4 to 5 year hiatus in the international league play in Japan before coming back to the MLB and playing for the Braves last season in 2023. So that seems to be the Mets' MO, and they seem to be targeting those guys who might, go overseas to those leagues and get their mechanics in order and come back and sort of make a better effort and have better, I guess, success rate at the MLB level. And Michael Tonkin is no exception. 80 innings pitched. He was a workhorse when the Braves needed innings uh, eaten pretty much. That's pretty much what it is when a reliever throws 80 innings for you in a season. 4.28 ERA, which isn't great. It's not going to stand out to you, but like I said, this is an innings eater, has a sweeping slider, and that also seems to be the common theme of what the Mets want this offseason in terms of these depth bullpen pieces is that sweeping slider with movement. Michael Tonkin is on the better side of the walk percentage, so a reliever that is not going to walk many hitters. And that is a rarity nowadays in this Mets bullpen, I feel like. So that you can take that whenever and draw that up as a positive. 7-3 win-loss record and a 1.088 ER or whip, I should say, excuse me, for Michael Tonkin last year with the Braves. Like I said, these moves are not going to wow you by any stretch of the imagination. This is going to be a short video. I have nothing more, nothing less on these guys. Just wanted to provide the updates on who these guys were, a little bit of background context, and a little bit of background context on where I stand with the New York Mets this offseason. Like I said, I'm not in panic mode just yet. I'd like to think there's a method to this Mets front office madness, the David Stearns madness, and I'd like to not be naive enough to doubt that he knows how to do his job. Like, I'm not going to sit here and question David Stearns, who just got a bag to be the president of baseball operations for the New York Mets. Now, it remains to be seen what the true strategy is. They aren't revealing their cards by any means, but I am still holding out hope. I understand that if you all are listening to this, might not be in the same boat, might be a little bit antsious, which is completely fine. I understand that the Mets have about 5 or 6 positions left on the 40-man roster, which doesn't add that much flexibility in terms of free agent signings or trades if you're David Stearns without having to cut some people already that are on the roster. But like I said, the Mets are in the position where they can cut some of those guys like your Sean Reed Foley's and Josh Walker's. Like, those guys are not guaranteed to be on the 40-man roster at the end of the day. So like I said, let me know in the comments section what you think about these two signings. I personally like these two signings. I've liked almost all of the Mets' pickups this offseason in terms of these depth signings. The waiver wire claims were what they were with Cooper Hummel and Heineman coming over from the Tampa Bay Rays. Those two catchers, those were what they were. But these signings, these depth pieces, Kyle Crick, Austin Adams, and Tonkin, especially for the bullpen, and a guy like Jose Iglesias, journeyman that has a lot of experience in that infield, is something that I am a fan of. And I get that that's not going to wow you. Like I said, I'm going to keep saying that for the people that are listening to this and might hold a different opinion. Like, I get that it's not going to wow you. These moves are not supposed to wow you. The Mets' front office is not sitting there saying, oh, I bet you the Mets fan base is going to be happy with these moves. No, like, these moves are at face value innings eater type guys. And at best case scenario, you have a gem for the early goings of the bullpen in 2024. That's the best case scenario. And of course, I forgot to add to the additions of Crick, Austin Adams, and Tonkin. You also have Andre Scrub, which the Mets fan base had a field day with on Twitter under the comment sections when that signing broke. So make sure you hit the comment section with your thoughts and opinions. It is Wednesday. I understand it's day 3 of the MLB winter meetings. Hopefully we see some more action coming up. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Comment your thoughts and opinions on all things related to the Mets. I want to hear what you all have to think. I'm responding to everybody's comments in my previous videos, and I will continue to do so because I want to sort of foster that engagement with my subscribers and with the viewers. So don't feel scared to comment. I want to know what you think, and no opinions are wrong under this channel. Even though I might disagree with some of you, I will always be open to hearing what you have to say. Subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner of this video, and make sure you're following me on X, Instagram, all that good stuff at CPNYSports to get all of your latest notifications about this podcast. Tap the notifications button on YouTube to get notified when I drop a pre-recorded episode like this one or go live, whether it's myself or with my buddies, Talking Mets with Rob, Amish Country Mets fan Nelson, or Mets Talk with Hayden on the Roundtable or the Interstate Mets Report. Like I said, let's go Mets. Not moves that are going to wow you, but stay patient, Mets fans. Stay the course and believe in this front office. I know it's getting a little bit harder right now, but let's stick to an objective lens. Like I said, it's your boy CP, continuing to provide you all the latest Mets updates. Like I said, until the next video, I'm out. Thank you for watching the latest episode of the CP New York Sports Pod. If you enjoyed this content, make sure you hit that thumbs up, comment your thoughts and opinions, and use the lower right-hand button of this video to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.